When a hyper-growth retail network suddenly hits a wall, the operational mathematics usually get extremely ugly very fast. This chart shows the Chinese tea brand Chagi's 2025 footprint. After expanding by nearly 90% in 2024, their growth rate flatlined to under 14%, ending the year with 7,026 physical locations. In the food and beverage industry, a sudden deceleration of this magnitude is a highly reliable red flag. It typically precedes a cascading network collapse, where operators bleed cash and locations shutter en masse. Yet, the 2025 telemetry reveals a bizarre contradiction. Despite stepping hard on the brakes, Chagi maintained a store survival rate of 94.76%. We are going to reverse engineer that exact survival rate by dissecting their operational data. We will look at how they manage store maturation, their reliance on lower-tier cities, and the hidden risks buried in their shopping mall density. Surviving the end of a hypergrowth phase is an engineered process. It is the mathematical filter that separates enduring retail brands from passing fads. The first layer of defense against a retail collapse is store maturity. This pie chart illustrates the highly volatile state of Chagi's network at the end of 2024. Nearly half of their entire portfolio, 49.1%, consisted of brand new 0 to 1-year-old stores. These are unproven units carrying maximum risk. By looking at the exact same chart for 2025, we see a structural shift. The massive influx of new stores has aged out of the danger zone, swelling the 1 to 3-year category to 72.57% of the portfolio. A store operating in its second or third year has entirely different economics than a new build. It generates predictable cash flow, operates on a stabilized local supply chain, and relies on normalized customer repurchase rates rather than grand opening marketing hype. By capping explosive expansion and intentionally allowing the bulk of their locations to age, the company actively lowered the overall financial risk profile. They traded top-line expansion speed for bottom-line operational stability. Maintaining a near 95% survival rate requires exactly this kind of mature, stabilized portfolio. If store age provides stability over time, geographic arbitrage provides stability across physical space. This horizontal bar chart breaks down the brand's presence by city tier. Counterintuitively, Tier 1 cities, the premium metropolitan hubs like Beijing and Shanghai, represent the absolute smallest segment of their operational footprint, holding just 811 stores. This chart displays year-over-year growth by region, showing that true scale sits at the bottom. The Tier 3 and below markets not only hold the largest volume of physical stores, but they also lead the network with a 19.12% expansion rate. The company executes a strict dual market strategy. Premium, high-cost cities act as high-visibility brand showcases. Meanwhile, the actual economic volume that sustains the business is extracted from the deeply penetrated lower tiers. True structural scale in modern Chinese retail is won in Tier 3 cities. The lower baseline operating costs in these regions provide a longer runway for unit profitability and insulate the broader network from high-tier rent volatility. But there is a structural vulnerability inside this footprint, and it appears in their micro-site selection telemetry. This graph tracks specific location types, revealing an overwhelming reliance on shopping malls. Over 74% of their entire network is locked inside mall infrastructure, completely dwarfing street-level and community locations. The logic is straightforward. Malls offer guaranteed centralized foot traffic, which is highly desirable for a premium-leaning tea brand trying to capture impulse purchases. This creates a paradox. While malls generate the vast majority of new unit openings, they are also responsible for a staggering 66% of all dead units across the brand. This chart reveals the root cause of the churn: extreme competitive density. Within a 500-meter radius of a typical Chagi Mall location, they are suffocated by thousands of rival stores, including over 10,000 Mixu locations alone. Mixu is a highly aggressive budget franchise in China. Mall locations are high-stakes gambling zones. They provide high customer volume, but they pair it with unforgiving rent ceilings and direct competitor density that rapidly kills off any average-performing unit. How do you manage this extreme mall-induced churn while still maintaining a total network survival rate near 95%? The answer lies in a tactic called active regional pruning. On this map, Highly contested coastal provinces like Jiangsu and Jiangsu see simultaneous mass openings and aggressive closures to hunt for better foot traffic. Meanwhile, in saturated markets like Yunnan, they accept deliberate network contraction, closing 36 underperforming units without replacing them. In a mature food and beverage network, closing underperforming stores is not a sign of brand failure. It is an indicator of rigorous operational health. That 94.7% survival rate isn't achieved by hoping every store succeeds. It is achieved by aggressively identifying and culling weak units before their losses infect the broader regional profitability. Consolidating this 2025 telemetry yields 4 clear operational rules for scaling retail networks. Pillar 1. Long-term resilience requires deliberately transitioning a network out of the volatility of hyperscale and into structural maturity. Pillar 2. High-tier cities are for marketing and visibility, but true operational volume must be extracted from lower-tier markets. Pillar 3. Mall concentrations drive foot traffic, but they carry the highest operational risk due to hyper-dense competitor proximity within a 500-meter radius. Pillar 4. High survival rates require the discipline to actively prune regions and accept net negative growth in saturated zones. The era of blind, explosive food and beverage expansion is over. The winners in 2026 will be defined by precision, unit economics, and ruthless data-driven management. 陶水沙龙，马年兴隆。